Good evening. On behalf of Charter College, I'm Elizabeth, and I have a special edition of our live lecture tonight. I was asked if I could do some more text formulas. I'd be delighted to. I have a sample spreadsheet I'd like to put on the screen, so hold on. First is I would like to work on the date. The date functions can be found on the formula ribbon. I thought there were thousands, but there really is 435 formulas in Microsoft Excel. They're divided into library books, some for financials, some for logical. These are my favorite, the if formulas. We'll do a little bit of those in week 4. Tonight I'm going to be working with text and dates. The ribbon that I want is formulas. I would like this to be date and time, month. The formula arguments will come up and it helps me to find the right data. It's asking where's the date. I'm going to click on A2. It understands that January in our calendar is the first month of the year. I'm okay. If I fill that down, all of these are January, the first month of the year. This one is not formatted correctly. Spelled wrong. That'll do it. There you go. As soon as I spell it correctly, I get back the correct value. February is the second month. March is the third month. I was fooling with the date functions. I don't want a short date. I don't want a long date. I would like to have a medium date, but it's not on the list. But it's in more number functions. Home, number, more number functions. And I can go to date and choose the format that I wish. Mine is down further on the list, and I would like to spell it out as month, day, year. There you go. And make them all align the same way. There's my crash month. Which day did this accident happen? I have the first, second. Let's do it. The ribbon that I want is formulas, date and time, and I want the day. And I'm going to click on the value in A2. It knows that it's January 1st. I can fill that down. Which year? 2019, but let's have Excel look it up. Formula ribbon is date and time. And the one I want is year. The function argument's open. It is asking me to look up where's my data. So when I click over on cell A2, the trial answer is there on the bottom, 2019. It is a serial number, and Excel can parse the data and pull out the information for me. I have the day, the month, and the year. Another one that we use that I'd like to repeat is this one for AM and PM. I can use a trim function, a text function, to get those two letters off on the right side. My cursor is where I want the answer K2, and I'm going to go to the library, text, right, because I want the letters on the right. The function argument's open and it's saying, where is your data? Which text? I'm going to click on J2. That's considered text because of the way it's formatted with the hyphens, spaces, and the AM and PM. It is on the right side. How many characters? By default, there's 1 character. Num characters means number of characters. So I'm going to type in 2, and now I get AM or PM. There they are. If I double-click a formula, it'll outline where I got the data from, and it shows me what the formula is. All equations start with equals, and in the formula bar, this one equals right, because it's the right ones. And in parentheses, it says which cell I chose, J5, comma, and there's the 2, because I wanted 2 characters. If I hit enter, I go back and see the answers. Say I have my cursor on one of the formulas here in K5. Next to the formula bar is the functions. You can click FX to open up the arguments again. I like to look at the arguments and confirm. I like working with the function arguments because it lays everything out without me having to worry about the punctuation. If you asked Elizabeth to type out the formula, I'd type it wrong. If you ask me to fill out the blanks, pick my cell, enter my number of characters, confirm the little answer down here, I'm good. I'm good. Text ones. My database happened to give my driver names here combined. I have first and last name together. There's another function in Microsoft Word called flash fill. It's looking for my data and looking what is the difference between the first name and the last name. That's called a delimiter. I'll spell that out on the screen. D-E-L-I-M-E-T-E-R. Delimiter. That's the character that's between first name and last name. And a delimiter can be a comma, a hyphen, a slash, a dash. For us, you can see it's a blank space between first name and last name. Excel will find that. How does this work? The ribbon that I want is home, and the flash fill is over here in editing. It is part of my fill down. So I have AutoSum here we've been playing with, but right underneath it is another type of useful function called fill, and it also has a tiny down arrow. Flash fill works this way. I put in the data that I wanted to know. I'm going to type in Anderson. I typed this in by hand. When I click on C2 with the data I want, I can go back to Home, Editing, Flash Fill, Flash Fill. Look at that. It parsed each one or queried each one of the data ones in the B column and found the ones next to it, Ball, Crim, Gage, Hampton. The delimiter was the space, and it gave me the data I wanted. Will it do the same if the column isn't right next to it, not contiguous? I'm going to try. My cursor's in cell D2, and I'm going to type in Jackie. Home, Editing, Fill, Flash Fill. It did. It found Jackie, Lauren, Jenna, Garrett, and Peter. If I take something apart, this one, the last name and the first name, can I put them back together? Can I combine them? That's called concatenate. I like this one. I use it often in database work. Where would I see this? I'd combine your first and last name as a full name for a mail merge so that there's no awkward spaces or no spaces between them. Let's see how this works. My cursor's where I want the answer, and this is a formula. So the ribbon I want is formula. I'm on E2. The book that I want in the function library is text. The short name now is called concat, but it is concatenate. It's a database term. The function argument's open and it wants to know, where's my data? There's a trick here. Watch. I've clicked on cell D2. I have the first name, Jackie. If I first put my cursor on text 2, I get a new blank line, text 3. How many can I get? Click on text 3, click on text 4, you can get 5. That's as many as you can have. I'm going to show you this. My cursor's on the second row for text 2, and I want to add the last name. But look what happens. In the trial answer, it has Jackie Anderson, and there's no space. There's no punctuation between it. Backspace. How do I put something between? My cursor's on line for text 2, and I'm going to put in a quote, space, quote. Now you can see in the trial result on the bottom, I have first name and last name, and I used the row in between text 2 to add the punctuation that I want. Will this fill down? Yes, it will. But I want to do it by hand one more time. It's being recorded. My cursor's on A3, and I want to go to the Formulas Function Library, Text. It is concatenate. Here are the function arguments. First name is in D3. When I click on the next row down for row 2, text 2, I can put in quote, space, quote. In text 3, I want to have the last name, C3. Okay. It gives me equals concat parentheses. D3 is my first variable, comma. There's quotes in a space, comma, C3. I can autofill that down. Where can I use this? I want to go to the right-hand side here and concatenate things to go together. Function library text concat. Type in date of the accident, a colon. In text 2, I'm going to scroll over and click on January 2. There's my data. In text 3, quote, space, time of the accident. In text 4, I'm going to click on the data. It combined them together. Let me wrap and merge that. The time of the accident is shown, and in between I used the punctuation. Those are the words I typed in. There's the data that was chosen. If I look at the formula, it looks complicated, but the easy way to work with it is to click on the FX. It pulls up these function arguments, and you can see what you put in there. Instead of date of the accident, I could say date of the crash. And if I wanted more space, I can just put in a space, a hyphen, a dash. There you go. Cool. Those are the text functions I wanted to show. One was to use a right function, equals right, where if you look at the formula in the FX, it simplifies it. The function argument shows you, where's my text, J2. There's the answer on the right. How many number of characters? 2. That's what I wanted. Flash fill is something that's fun to use. The thing to remember with flash fill is it looking for the same delimiter. All of these have a space between first name and last name. If I was looking at the crash date, now you can see how it figured out what was the month, the day, and the year. In each one of these data, there's a space between January, or the month, and the day. So Excel could figure out how this data is laid out. Month, space, date, comma, and year. Pretty cool. I think that's enough for the text and the functions you asked for me. Let me end this recording and I'll post it into our class. Thank you for asking.